Here are our top 5 beginner golf tips that will really help you get started in the right way. If you enjoy them, make sure you hit that subscribe button to not miss one of our weekly videos. We're starting with the grip. The most important thing, the only thing that's connected to the golf club that influences the direction and the speed. Piers, talk us through this, it's crucial.
Look, it's absolutely massive. So this is how to do it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to build the grip up in the air. Okay, we'll explain why later. But from here, you need to make sure this front part of the golf club, the leading edge, is pointing straight up. We'll get the right hand on the shaft of the golf club, and then from here we're going to get our glove hand. Now obviously we're using Meandmygolf True Grip glove, but you can obviously use a normal golf glove for this. But what we're looking for is we're looking to run the bottom of the golf club through the middle of the fingers as we're looking at it. So we can see here it's running from the middle of the index finger to the bottom of the little finger, and then from there all I'm going to do, making sure that leading edge is pointing straight up still, is rotate my hand around. Now when I rotate my hand around, I can see all 4 of these knuckles. You'll also notice as well that that left thumb is ever so slightly down the right hand side of the handle. Okay, so now with our right hand, our trail hand, I often like saying you've got to shake hands with the golf club. It'll be nice to you that way. But look at my palm. My palm is facing directly towards the target. I'm going to put my hand down. I'm just literally going to close my hand so that my right thumb sits on top of my left thumb. So now when I'm looking at the grip and looking at my hand, I can actually see that there's a V formed between my thumb and my forefinger on my right hand, and that's going up towards my right shoulder. Now we've given you the baseball grip. There are other options where you can interlink the fingers, but to start with, let's just keep it simple and go with this baseball grip. So from here now, as I put the club down on the ground, I'm looking at my hand, and on my left hand, I can see 2 knuckles. This is telling me that my hands are in a great place. That's a good checkpoint for you as you're about to hit the golf shot. Here's where we do not want you to do it. You absolutely must not try and hold the golf club with it resting on the ground, because what happens then is we get the club too high up in the palm. It's just really difficult to get the hands in place, and you start making a mess of the rest of the grip.
Okay, let's show you how to stand to the golf ball. We're talking about posture and balance, a really important part that's going to help you move in a consistent way so you can strike the golf ball better.
What we want you to do is we've got our perfect grip. We're going to get you to stand with your feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to hold the golf club out in front of you so that the club shaft is parallel to the ground and that your arms are resting up against your torso. And then from there, all we're going to do with our legs straight is we're going to let the golf club just relax. So you notice it drops down about 1 foot almost, the club head does. From here now, keeping your legs straight, you're going to tip forward from your hips until the club hits the ground, and then you're going to soften your knees. When we say soften, just a gentle flex in those knees, and this is when you want to start sort of bouncing around a little bit, trying to find your balance. But from here, this is an amazing posture which is going to keep you balanced.
And when you say balanced as well, we want to feel that the weight is through the middle of the feet, not too much on the toes, not too much on the heels, and this is where the softening of the knees comes in. Now, a mistake that a lot of golfers make when they start is that they overbend the legs. So they've been told to bend the knees, so they do this, and they don't really get the hinge forward. If you do this, it's going to lead to some poor shots, inconsistencies. And this is why it's so important that we get this nice hinge forward, and it literally is just a softening of the knees, isn't it, Piers?
Absolutely. It's just so much easier to bend your legs than it is to bend from your hips, especially if your back's a little bit tight. So this just puts me in a position where I'm dynamic, I'm ready to move. You can see it's always flowing. If we've got a good posture, we can definitely swing a lot easier.
What questions do you have about this game? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll get back to as many as we can. Okay, tip number 3, we're talking about ball striking, really. Now, one of the questions that we ask a lot of beginner golfers, where should we strike the ground when we're hitting the golf ball? Where should that be? And often the answer is they say, oh, we should be hitting the ground before the golf ball or at the golf ball, when in fact, we actually want to hit the ground, Piers,
over there, past the golf ball. That's what we actually need. So look, what we'll get golfers to do is actually have practice swings doing this, whether you're on a driving range mat or on the grass like this. We literally want you to have some swings where you're clipping, brushing, striking the ground after the golf ball, because this is telling us then that we're getting the lowest point of our swing after the golf ball, which means we'll hit the golf ball first. If we can hit the golf ball first, we're going to get all of the energy into the shot, and it's going to be a lot further and a lot straighter.
It's amazing that the power of this as well, because a lot of people, when we first tell them this, they're like, we've got to hit the ground past the golf ball. It doesn't quite make sense.
Makes sense.
But we want all that energy going into the ball there. And if you see the best players, best golfers in the world, they often take a chunk of turf, a divot, and the divot actually happens past the golf ball. This is what feels so nice when we strike the golf ball and keeps us coming back for more, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
Okay, when it comes to the golf swing, we want to hit the golf ball relatively straight. However, we do not want to swing the club straight. Piers, let's elaborate on this because this is a confusion.
It is.
A bit of confusion when people get started.
When I first started playing golf, I thought, yes, let's hit the ball straight. I must swing straight. But no, we swing on an arc. As soon as the golf ball is to the side of you, think of tennis, think of baseball, golf. As soon as the golf ball goes to the side of you, we are swinging on an arc. So we've got our target line in place here, which is straight at the target where I want the ball to go. But let's just illustrate this. Look at the club head as it works around the body. Hopefully this golf swing looks pretty good, but we can see it's very much working on an arc around the body. The last thing you want to be doing is thinking about swinging it straight. If you do that, it's going to make your golf swing really bad. So again, this image in your mind, really important to get this club arcing around. It's definitely going to stand you in good stead.
If you want to hit the golf ball somewhat straight, do not swing the golf club in a straight line. It's going to cause all sorts of problems. Okay, the fifth and final tip is probably the most important because we spent a lot of our coaching career trying to fix golfers who've got this wrong, and it's all about the club face. Probably the most important thing if you want to hit the golf ball about straight. And Piers has got the monster club here to emphasize the point.
The big issue that we see golfers do, it's all this theme about trying to hit the golf ball straight. So a golfer, when they first start maybe, is thinking, if I keep my club face pointing at the target where I want the golf ball to go, the ball will go straight. Unfortunately, that's incorrect. The ball is going to curve violently to the right if you're trying to do that move through the golf ball.
Look at the arms as well through the ball. You know, we get this chicken, we call this the chicken wing. You don't really want to have this in the golf swing.
Absolutely not. So what we want to do with the club face is we want to get that club face through the ball, and by the time I get to this sort of same sort of waist height area, pointing away from me, so pointing directly behind me over there, that tells me that I'm using the club better through the golf ball. And again, this is going to allow the golf ball to go straight.
Now to hit the golf ball straight, let's come back to impact, because what we obviously want to happen is when we strike the golf ball, we want the club face hopefully pointing somewhat down that target line. But as we move through, this club face is turning and turning and turning, and now points behind Piers. Really, really important. And we look at the arms now are nicely sort of structured here and extended. A big, big difference to the ball flight this is going to make.
And if you think about it, all we're doing with the turning of the club face is we're matching it to the arc that we're swinging the golf club on. So here's a great drill for you. So you can even just have your perfect left hand hold, get your right hand to the side, not actually literally holding onto the golf club, and you can just practice doing these little mini backswings and just turning the club with your right hand. So you're actually getting the club moving with your right hand here to get that club face pointing away behind you.
Notice now the palm of the hand now is facing this way. What we see a lot of golfers make the mistake of is that palm would be facing more skyward. Again, it's going to lose power, lose direction, not where you want to be. And as Piers is rehearsing here, this palm of the hand there is now facing behind him.
I'm going to swap. I'm actually going to hit a shot now where I actually finish short like that, and just watch where that face is pointing.
You can see what we call a nice release. Club face is pointing behind him there. That is going to make a tremendous difference to your game. Now, if you enjoyed this, you will absolutely love our beginner to golf course in 2 months, and it will do just that. Get you on the golf course in no time at all, and you can do it for free. All you need to do is click the link down in the description, and we'll see you there. Thanks again, and see you soon.